Hi everybody, welcome back. Okay, I was moved to make this video today about relationships and the complexity, I guess, of relationships, and then the potential divinity of relationships that we have. So, I'm curious what you guys think about divinity of relationships. So leave your comments in the below the video. Because what I mean by divinity of relationships is we get into relationships for all different reasons, right? We could be a romantic attraction, right? Initially we are attracted to someone without really knowing them, just based on physical features and characteristics, right? Just that initial attraction. But of course, relationships are more than that. And when they're just based on physical features of another individual, obviously the foundation isn't there, or it could be there, but more than likely just from that initial, it's not going to have a solid foundation to build upon, right? So when we're in a divine relationship, that's when coincidences happen to bring us together with another person. They're put on our path, right, for a reason and a higher purpose than what we are aware of. And they're here to bless us and for us to bless them. Now, that's a choice, right? That's a thought, and that's a choice that we can make as we enter into relationships and as we define relationships. Because it takes a little bit of a higher vibrational expression and a connection to a higher purpose to look at a relationship, no matter how it might appear on the surface. In our 3D experience, in our ego experience, they're all divine, basically, in a nutshell, whether we believe it or not. And what I mean by that is that people are placed on our paths and we come together for a bigger purpose and a bigger reason. We might not know what that is, and we might not feel it or see it until maybe many years later, right? We can look back and notice that there were blessings in the struggles, right? And there were blessings in the challenges of any type of relationship, and the blessings are to mold us and to shape us and to grow us in our heart, in our soul's expansion, right? And when we go into relationships with that perspective and not looking at it as a 3D human experience, which would be, this person makes me feel this way. What can this person do for me? What can this person add to my life? When we have those type of perspectives and enter into relationships under those type of thought processes or desires or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't typically lend itself to a beneficial situation, right? It could, but more than likely, it won't. So what's divine about relationships, or when you can cultivate and transcend your experiences, and you get to a point in life where you love people for them, who they are, right? Their being. That's what you love. You don't love what they can do for you or how they make you feel or how they can benefit you. Because the challenge with that type of scenario is excuse me, the challenge with that type of scenario is what happens when they don't make you feel a certain way. Does that mean, okay, now the relationship's over, I don't feel that anymore, so the relationship's over, right? You're not benefiting me anymore, so the relationship's over, type of thing, right? You see that a lot in relationships when it's a 3D ego experience, where somebody feeds your ego and makes you feel good. And the reality and the truth is that no one makes us feel any particular way. We decide how we're going to feel every day. And when you are farther on your journey, and you've had a lot of life lessons and a lot of life's experiences, and you recognize that we are in control of our happiness, we are in control of our love, our self-love, that no one can give that to us. We have it already. We were born with it. It was a divine gift to us. Unfortunately, we get molded by our environments and experiences in our younger years that might detract and take us away from that divine love that we were created from, that divine spark of love. So the good news is that we have the power and we have the control, which a lot of us want power and control, right? To decide how we feel, right? We are in control of how we feel, no matter what someone outside of us says or does. It's not that easy. We can take 10 steps forward and then take a couple steps back. But when we have that knowledge and that awareness that we are in control of love for ourselves first. And I know that comes up a lot, self-love. It's like, oh, that's person's in their ego, but self-love just means that we recognize, to me anyway, that we recognize that we're divine. We were created from a divine spark of love. So we are loving and lovable just because we exist. No matter what the human 3D experiences, and we as humans are the ones that put conditions on ourselves and conditions on others as to whether they're lovable or not, right? And the truth is we're all lovable exactly as we are without any conditions. So, and that's divine. That comes from, whatever you believe, higher power, higher purpose, universe, God, angel, whatever you believe. We are all here for a divine purpose, a divine reason, and we are loved beyond measure. We're lovable. And when we learn to love ourselves first and we fill our own cup, right, of love, then we don't need love from another person. We're not in that needy state, right? We're in a contented state of love within ourselves. So when we're in that space, we can enjoy others and we can appreciate others just for them being themselves, right? And being in their own divine, loving energy, right? Then that's like a more authentic love. Because I love you whether, I'm not dependent on you to love me for me to feel okay with myself, or dependent on you to think I'm attractive for me to think I'm attractive myself, right? So when we can come from that place and shed the ego and connect to divine love and that divine energy of love that just emanates out from us, and it's for everything, right? Not just for another individual, it's for the universe, for nature, for every experience. When we infuse love into, when our cup is full and we're overflowing with that divine loving energy within ourselves, we emanate that out around us. Our auric field will be raised, our vibrational frequency is raised, and then we draw to us other loving experiences. We draw to us love, like we attract kind of what we are, right? So as far as relationships are concerned, if you're in a loving space for yourself and you're free and you have no parameters on your love, you give love freely to everyone and everything with no conditions, right? Then you're vibrating at a higher frequency and love comes to you, whether you're looking for it or not, right? And the key is to recognize that you love the other person because of who they are, with no conditions as to what they can do for you, type of thing. And that's when the power, the true, unbelievable, divine power of love is at work, right? And sometimes it means that when we come from that loving place, a loving thing to do, if, as an example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and maybe you don't, click's not the right word. Maybe there's not a mutual recognition of divine love, right? Maybe like you see the divine in the individual and you love them for who they are, not what they could do for you. And then it's not reciprocated type of thing, which is fine. A loving energy and a loving approach to relationships would be to say, I recognize that I'm not right for you, and I'm not gonna help you elevate your loving expression, because if our interactions and our exchanges are of a lower vibration, then it brings the vibration down of each individual and the relationship itself. So it is a very loving act to send someone, that probably doesn't sound good, right? But to love someone on their journey and not hold them to us for whatever, 3D human experience or belief that we have, to hold on to them. It's very, very loving to release someone with love, right? And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be a very beautiful and positive and loving thing. The challenge is when people are in relationships and they want to leave the relationship, you'll see a lot of times where people will vilify the other person, make them out, oh, they did this or they did that, or, that kind of lower energy emotion and lower energy thought processes that trying to justify why, they need to leave the relationship or why they're leaving a relationship. And it's unfortunate because we all learn from each other. No one benefits from vilifying the other person, right? And you don't hear that talk too much because it's very common to say, oh, he did this, he did that, he's this, he's that. And, and I have to be angry to give myself the space and the disconnection to make it okay to leave, right? And, you see it all the time, or I've seen it a lot with, people that I know or, other individuals out in the world where, it has to be a fight. It has to be an ego battle back and forth. It's almost like we have to justify our lovability by, excuse me, our lovability based upon whether we're loved by that other person. And maybe it's served its time and its purpose here on earth, and we send them off with love, loving them, loving ourselves, and just moving forward, right? What a beautiful, peaceful place that is, right? And when you come from that place, things like flow easier, right? It just flows and it's divine, right? And we see a lot of individuals in court and divorcing and fighting over who gets that vase and who, like just petty little things, 3D ego experiences that can just go on and on, right? On and on and on and on. So when we can approach it from that loving heart space, when our heart is filled with love for ourselves and for everyone, we can transcend those type of experiences, right? Because it takes two to get into a battle like that. And when you refuse to participate in a battle like that, you can transcend that experience. And when you're loving to the other person, if they're not in that vibration, it still benefits everyone involved, right? So that's just a little relationship tidbit. I don't know why I felt moved to make this video today relating to that, but we'll talk more about that in the future. But the point is, and the point of me creating these videos and this channel is to highlight love, divine love, self-love, and emanating love in all your experiences and how it can really like change your life. It really truly can. And it lifts you higher and you have so many more beautiful experiences that happen as a result of living in that space. Okay, so thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I wish you peace, love, and healing on your journey, okay? See you next time. Bye.